Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for coming back for yet another video. I have a neighbor, his name is Brian. My wife and I were on a walk the other night, and on our way back, we passed Brian's house. He flagged me down and he had a question about this generator. He asked if we would take a look at it. It was given to him, I believe, by his friend or dad. I don't remember who it was, but somebody had it, they upgraded. This had sat for some time and they gave it to him. It is a Generac 4000 XL, I believe. It's one of those generators that's great for camping. It'll pretty much power a fifth wheel or something like that. And it will get you through in a pinch. If your home loses power, it'll do the essentials, the furnace, the sump, the fridge, freezer. I don't know too much about it other than it was a shop generator. I think for a countertop shop is where it came from. Should be pretty straightforward, but without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so here's our project today. Generac extended life 7.8 horsepower overhead valve engine, 4,000 watts, I believe. A GN-220 is what it's saying it is. I have looked around and I cannot really find who makes the engine, if it's Briggs or Kohler. I'm sure somebody knows. There's a sticker right here that's really hard to read. It says City of Los Angeles, something, it's like an electrical kind of safety, Prop 65 compliance sticker. Here, that light is better. Looks like it's got 240, 120. It's got this weird little 12 volt like pig snout one. I've never seen that before actually. It might be something European. Mick, if you're watching this video, tell me if that's European or not. I don't know. I know Europe and America have different outlets sometimes. It's like it's got one of those like Chinese or Asian style carbs. Oh, it has a oil filter. So pressurized lubrication system. I don't know if that's going to show up, but see that writing on the oil filter? Oh, you can't. It says Generac, so I'm going to assume that is from the factory. Carb just looks like it's in rough shape. Low oil shut-off indicator. There's the kill switch. It's got a fuel shut-off. I think I'm just going to try to pull over and see if it runs. The gas actually doesn't smell that bad. Again, it's just kind of one of those things that just sat, and generators do that all the time. They just sit. Nobody uses them. Somebody goes to pull it over, it doesn't start, won't start, pull it over, pull it over, pull it over, and then they end up just giving it up or giving it away. And I think that's the case here. So I just want to see if we get some promise pops, and then we'll go from there. Plug a little light in and see if there's anything wrong with the power head. Okay, run, choke. Whoop. All right, let's just go right through the mouth and focus your attention right there. Here we go. Nice. All right, let's get that carb off there. All right, looks like there's a couple Phillips head screws, and then there's some kind of a 5/16 looks like. That actually, I think that's what holds the carburetor to the intake manifold. By the way, I adore magnetic bowls, whatever those are called. They are the best. It's weird, the gas smells so bad. It smells like carb spray almost, which is weird, which is very, very weird. Okay, that's kind of a mess. Fuel shut off. Very, very awesome. Thank you, fuel shut off. All right, whatever little amount is in this fuel hose, I'm just gonna let it just kind of dribble down onto the this rag I got under here. Actually, I should probably capture that just to get a glimpse. It actually doesn't look that bad. Okay, I do have the ultrasonic cleaner heating up. I don't want to jump to gross. I don't want to jump to conclusions if we need it or not. This carburetor smells very bad. Ugh, gross. That is supposed to be, see that silver chunk right there knocked out? That's what it's supposed to be. And it's not. It's all that green crap, which is very gross, very common. That's what happens to fuel when it sits and it just gets all gummed up and there is no way it's going to start. So that needle is like completely stuck on there. Eesh. Those are brass too, so they strip very, very, very easily. I have a feeling, nope, I was gonna say I have a feeling that one's gonna give us a lot of crap. And then there's an emulsion tube. Not sure if that's gonna wanna come out. One thing about that emulsion tube, if you go, it pops its head up into the, the mouth opening, the carb opening, the mouth carb opening. If you're trying to take one out and it doesn't want to come out, sometimes it's better to just leave it in there versus trying to get it out and ultimately damaging it. I'm starting to damage it a little bit. Okay, it's staying in there. While that ultrasonic cleaner is heating up, I want to get some light on there, much better. And I want to drain some of that gas out of there, out of that fuel line right there. Yikes. I will report. It's very cloudy. Here, let me change the ISO. Okay, so you can't really see the bottom of the cup. It's just very, very cloudy. You can barely see it. See, there's the, just kind of, you know what kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of like an apple cider vinegar transparency. It does look like there's a bit of water in the bottom. See that dark spot down there? That is in fact water. I will drain that tank. Just take some time draining that tank and we'll just get it out of there. I just have an old, 5 quart thing, so there's probably 4 gallon tanks. So we'll just fill this up as much as we can. All right, so guys, that fuel has just about made its way fully out. Filled up this whole, I think this is 5 quarts, 4.73 liters. So I'm gonna let that run out and then I'm gonna leave that. We'll flush some fresh fuel down it, just enough to get in there, slosh around, push out anything that's unwanted in there. I'm thinking out loud while this, kind of wraps up. Water is heavier than fuel. That's why it always floats to the bottom. Generally speaking, the most important part on any small engine is the lowest point, which is the carburetor, especially in a gravity fed system like this. I know in a fuel pump situation, the gas tank might be, behind the riding lawnmower underneath the seat and it pumps it through, along the chassis up into the bowl. I get that. But then once it gets to the bowl, the bottom of the carburetor bowl then becomes the lowest point of, what's important. And then that pickup tube, when it picks up the water does not combust. So it's just picking up water and therefore it will not run. So that's why water and gas tanks are no good, because it needs to explode. Okay, now I will get some nice fresh stuff in here. I have removed the carburetor and its contents from the bowl, and that bowl, I don't know if you, oh yeah. So I'm not gonna zoom in, but you can take my word for it and possibly see it from that far away. It is, I guess, a night and day difference. So I like to hit everything with just a little bit of carb spray after I take it out of the ultrasonic cleaner. I use Simple Green in there because it's cheap and it works really well, but it is not designed for engines. So I just always kind of, you know, at least on the internal parts, like if it's on the outside, like whatever, all those ports and everything in there, I like to just at least just get it, stripped out. Let's get this put back together, and I think we have a pretty decent shot at getting this thing started back up and running. I'll hook the multimeter up to it and just kind of get an idea of what's coming out of it. 60 Hertz is what we're looking for, and I'll put a little bit of a load on it and we'll adjust it. I think there's a little part on that governor that you can tighten in or out to adjust the RPMs, and that RPM brings up the speed of the engine, which also plays a part in how much power it's putting out. So it's all interconnected. Okay, let's get this put back on and we'll see what happens. All right, so that carburetor is back on. Got that whole assembly on. There was a hole on top of the throttle linkage, and I was not paying attention to which hole that it came off of, and I put it back into the hole that I think that it went into, and the one that felt kind of the most natural. But just in case it like runs wild or runs low, I might pop that back off really quick and switch the hole. Here we go. The hole. Here we go. All right, I got that seafoam hot soaking. While that's happening, I will just change that oil. That I'm slightly confused by is when it did not have a load, it was like 75 Hertz, which I am not a generator expert, but I believe that that is just wildly high. Like 65 or high, somewhere in the high 60s is high. At 1.2, I think I saw it top 80 something. But I suppose while it's under a load, it's at 60, which is the important part. Probably a safe bet to say it holds a quart maybe, plus or minus. Brand new oil. Just a 10W30. All right, big cloud of smoke. Here we go. I decided to leave that oil filter in there. The condition of it was probably okay, that's why I did it. And not only that, but it was tucked in there, so it would have made a huge mess. But I rechecked the hertz without a load, and it came back, you know, to normal 62, 63. So I have no idea what the 75, 80, 82 fluctuations were earlier in the video. I don't know if something was just kind of going wild, and I'm not sure, but it's good now. I'll put a little iCard up here. I have another video that is a little bit more in depth of how to adjust the output of your generator. I kind of just skimmed over in this one. I'll link that in the description. That was a fun video. So funny story, Brian initially offered to, you know, pay for the repair or whatever, and I told him no. I was like, no, it's fine. I'll look at it. Should be straightforward, and we can figure it out. So the other night I texted him and I said, hey, it's all good. You know, I told him my wife and I, we were out running an errand or two. I don't remember where we were, but he sent me a text a little bit later and he said, hey, when you get home, make sure you go through your front door, not your garage. So on the front porch was a case of beer. I was not expecting that. So Brian, you are a gentleman. Thank you so much. And in fact, I have one right here. Cheers. All right, with that, I'm gonna sign off. Until the next one, guys. Later.